And we're back. Couch Company Podcast. I'm John. With me, as always, T-Dog DeFazio.
Hey, I'm T-Dog DeFazio.
Coming at you live. Little radio voice there, sounded like.
Yeah, I like these headphones. I feel bassy. I actually had to turn the bass down a little bit.
I actually got infuriated when you'd use your iPod head earbuds.
You got infuriated?
Yeah, I don't like earbuds, man.
Oh.
Do you think they're good quality? Like
No.
Those were like standard iPod earbuds, right?
No, those are the cheap knockoff earbuds.
Even
they're
worse.
black. Yeah,
Even
they're
worse.
much worse. They don't have any like, you know how earpods I shouldn't even say earpod. Like headphones have like those little foam bits inside them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this didn't. They're
Well,
just like the
those
shell.
were earbuds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have foam inside.
Oh, really?
There's like a little. It shouldn't even say foam. It's like almost like a little mesh, like a little wire mesh.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't come with them. They're supposed to have them, but they didn't have them.
It was just funny the juxtaposition of this setup.
Yeah.
And like $10 earbuds.
Yeah. Well, so this is kind of like how vain I am. Is I hate how my hair gets matted wearing these headphones.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's what happens with mine when I'm working all day.
Yeah.
Because I have Logitech headphones that I use at work. Because I hate, the ones they give us are super shitty, obviously. So, but yeah, I have like a huge indent in my head.
I don't
when I'm
like
done.
that.
I look stupid.
Yeah. If it's just me, if I'm like last night I was home and we were just on Discord or whatever, and I'd put that on.
Yeah.
But that was like right after the shower, so my hair looked like crazy.
Yeah.
Chelsea doesn't gotta look at that. I look like a dork. I look like Beaker. Like, you know, Beaker's hair, where it's all a little tough on the top? Mm-hmm. That's what it is, where everything's matted on the sides because these headphones.
Do you think Beaker's selling meth? You think that's probably happening?
I feel like you have to. I don't know if he might be like the Jesse Pinkman. Like, if you're
No,
really
Beaker's the
kind of...
scientist, isn't he?
No, Beaker's the assistant to the scientist.
Who's the scientist?
Science bud.
Buddy
Science. The Buddy Science
believe
guy.
you.
Well, you don't like the Muppets, so what do you care?
I never said that.
Albert Science Buddy.
You don't even know the Muppets,
Look,
dude.
how long? Wait, 2 minutes, 40 seconds in.
Yep.
Research department, get on that.
He needs to get on that. And I think, Breaking Bad might have been inspired by the Muppets. That's all I'm saying. I need someone to draw the connection there.
Obviously, you have Breaking Bad. So you have the scientist guy, obviously Walter White. You have Beaker or Jesse Pinkman.
Walter Wright.
Walter White.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. I
feel like that's an easy
for
one.
2 seconds.
I feel like that's a softball.
Gets slammed.
Right.
You have who was the head of the Mexican cartel that would just do meth in front of them?
Wait. Oh, Tuco?
Tuco. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's Animal.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
That seems easy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Who's Gus? Who do you think Gus?
Gus Frayne. He might even be like who's
Kermit?
Yeah, he's got to be like a straight man.
Pulling the strings.
Kermit's good. I kind of like. Is it weird to put Miss Piggy as
Hank Schrader?
I was gonna say Saul, but okay.
Saul.
Yeah, because she's like very like bombastic.
Yeah, but she's very aggressive. Saul is not aggressive at all.
I guess that's true.
Right.
Yeah. Is it possible that Breaking Bad was not inspired by the Muppets?
I think there's about a 33% chance it was not inspired by the Muppets.
Huh. Okay.
Because I think if you really look back at modern television, a lot of things were inspired by the Muppets. You kind of look at the creative director's age.
Sure.
I think a lot of those people watch the Muppets, and intrinsically, that's going to affect the products that they, in fact, one day will produce. It sounds like bullshit, but the more I'm rambling, that's probably
Jim Henson
there's actually something there.
You're probably
right.
There's got to be something.
Everything you watch as a child is going to influence, especially if you're a creative type, what you're going to create someday. Maybe it's not super major, but it's going to happen.
You convinced me. I don't even know where we went with this.
I don't know. Like when we make our video game, there will be, Blue's Clues in there somewhere. It might be minute.
Yeah.
It might just be a guy in a sweater.
Might be a dog named Blue.
I think that's a little on the nose.
What if it's like a not blue dog?
What if it's like a dog named Green?
Oh yeah, or
yeah,
maybe it's a green dog named Red.
Maybe there's just
and he's colorblind.
Maybe there's
so
just
he
a
just doesn't
couch.
know.
Maybe there's just a chair, that big chair somewhere in there. You know,
I never watched Blue's Clues. I don't know.
Maybe there's a salt shaker that talks to you at some point. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean, but
That's a character
from Blue's Clues. I'm
Blue's Clues.
picking that up with the context clues.
Yeah.
I must be good at Blue's Clues.
I was okay. I liked Blue's Clues. Hated Dora the Explorer. I think I talked about this. Have many traumatic experiences with that show. You didn't watch that, right?
No.
You were like 30.
I was it was about 3 years ago.
Your first kid, probably. You didn't watch it with your kid, maybe?
No. My first kid?
I'm just
Okay.
making an old joke.
Sure. So what's the over-under on Jim Henson influencing Breaking Bad?
Jim Henson?
Muppets. Sorry.
Creator?
Yeah.
He's the Muppets creator?
I
I didn't
think
know
so. I think
that.
that's
I'm actually
right.
surprised you know that.
Yeah. I don't know why. I could literally be making that up. I'm pretty sure.
So I don't think there would be an over-under on that.
Okay. I was trying to do a segue. But
No, that's a good segue. But yeah, there needs to be a quantity for an over-under. And that's more of a yes-no situation.
Okay. What's the over-under that half the characters on Breaking Bad are based off of Muppet counterparts?
6.5.
6.5? Okay. Yeah. Well, I couldn't do 4, so I'm not going to take that, but okay.
Speaking of over-unders,
Yeah.
kind of just grabbing this out of the air
Sure.
here. We recently went to the casino.
Yes.
And this was your first sports betting experience.
Yeah. Personal experience, yes.
Personal experience.
Yeah, I've watched you and John throw your life away for a little bit now, probably about a year.
Okay.
You were doing it under the table. Like before, it was kind of like hushed whispers in a party or something under the table. You kind of like blink a couple times, and suddenly you both pull your phones out and tap on them and stuff like that. And then you got really angry or really happy.
Having John at a social gathering with me just is so great because I can always fall back on being a degenerate.
Yeah.
It's what I know.
You encourage each other.
It's bad. It's not good. I bet on the Cubs today. We're going to check the Cubs live.
Okay.
If you're listening to this on a Monday or any day after that, you're going to know that I won.
Hey, there you go.
Wow. 8-7. Congratulations, Chicago Cubs. You just made me $10.
Beautiful.
That's amazing. Great game.
We bet 10. We had 10 bets riding on 4 or 5 games.
Sorry, yeah. Describe the experience that you had.
The experience?
Yes.
All right. So experience is you go into the casino. I came into the casino a weird way, so I didn't know where I was going. That's a whole thing. But go to the casino. There's a giant sports betting thing. I guess it used to be where they had like live bands and stuff play, unless that's a different part of the casino.
No, it was.
Okay.
So the sports betting used to be like tucked away in the corner. Like when
Yeah.
you first walk in, you just go straight,
Okay.
kind of near the sodas. You know, the soda
The free
machines.
sodas. I know
Yeah.
exactly where those are. Yeah.
So kind of near there. And then they expanded it. So where the
It's
stage
real
used to be.
nice.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Nobody likes baseball. There was really no one there. There's a couple people just hanging out.
Well, we were on a Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah.
So that's peak degenerate hours.
Sure. Well, that's what I
For
mean.
sure.
There were a few people that looked a little bit degenerate. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like not to be gross, but actually that's gross. I just won't go there. But anyway, we went to the sports betting thing. Me, you, Harbin, Nate showed up. Mike showed up. Both my cousins showed up. Justin brought his girlfriend. Like it was a big event. I think my cousins showed up just to watch me lose money, which is fine. We didn't lose
Joke's
money,
on him.
which is great. Yeah. But you showed me how to do the kiosk thing. I learned what an over/under was. I learned about the money line, the run line. Mm-hmm. We bet on a home run thing. We bet on strikeouts.
Yep.
I don't think I bet on the strikeout one, but did I? I don't think I
You
did.
must have, because we all had the same ticket.
Yeah. Anyway, 8 out of 10 ain't bad.
No.
The one thing that I wanted the Rockies to win. They did not.
Yeah.
They did the opposite of that.
They lost.
Yeah. But other than that, it was pretty
Any
good.
memorable moments?
Yeah.
Stand
Well, I
out?
didn't want to take the thunder from you because it was like there were some
This is your
really
show,
good.
man. This was your first.
One of the things, and this is where it's like, okay, Pirates lost, so
It's a bad start.
Yeah, that wasn't
one of
great.
I will say, the actual first thing that ended was we bet on. So we gave everyone one bet.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds condescending, giving you a bet, but I wanted to make sure everyone got at least one bet.
Yeah.
So Tyler explained who was there. So Nate, my cousin, does not know anything about sports. Generally, I think he's a hockey fan, but outside of that, not really, I would say. So I didn't know hockey was going on, but apparently the Junior World Championships are happening.
Under 20.
Under
Yeah.
20. And Canada was playing Sweden. And we bet over 7.5 goals in that game, which anyone who knows hockey, that's a fuck ton of goals. That cashed in the beginning of the second period.
Yeah,
There was like
Canada
8 goals.
was just stomping.
Yeah, so that was hilarious. So technically the first bet we did win. But yeah, the Pirates lost. And I was very adamant about the Pirates.
Yep.
Was doing my research, and Pirates against left-handed pitching at home tend to win more than they lose. Didn't cash though. We got a little bit unlucky there, so it was a bad start. But
there's that, and then there was one where was it the Yankees game?
Yeah, the Yankees game, which kept us there very late.
Yeah, that's true. But we needed the Yankees to do nine run game.
Yeah, we needed 9 to win. So
was it called the run line?
8.5.
9 on the.
That's the over/under.
Okay.
So we needed 9 to win because we took the over.
And then we needed Rizzo to hit a home run.
Anthony Rizzo to hit a home run. Yeah.
Last time this guy's up on bat.
Yep.
Well, before overtime. Smacks a home run, and just the look on your face, you jumping up, everyone's pounding fists and like yelling and different things. Like that feels real good when something kind of like long shot, kind of crazy happens.
Yep.
So we were putting all our tickets out on the table because you got a bunch of tickets from the kiosk on like what you win and don't win and things like that. And we were like, okay, we have 3 in my pocket. These are 1. And then we split them between like, these are long shots. These definitely aren't going to happen. And like somehow like throughout the course of the night, they just kept going into my pocket of just win. I'm like, oh man, it was fun. It was really interesting. I did not play the blackjack. So the main thing that I did is I took $100 out because I told you guys I would give $100, and then that was it. I was very tempted multiple times to, I can just pull this out. Like, I want to play some blackjack here. So I can see how that spirals very quickly. Even you guys on your phones, like with the different apps and things like that, I'm like, this is a dangerous thing. I might be eating my words later. I would like to say that I'll probably stay off my phone. So I'm hoping that it's like we go to the casino, I'll do the kiosks or whatever, but like that's it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I don't know if that's actually going to work. I might be lazy about it and just put it on the phone. I just feel like it's too easy to do because like you guys did extra bets. So then like you guys did like the Yankees win.
Yeah, so the Yankees were down 4-0.
Yeah, this is a good one.
And then I was sitting there, dude, the Yankees do this all the time. They're just out of the game, but they're so good that they will come back and win in crazy fashion. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, this feels like one of those times. One of those times where they're just going to fucking win. So we put like $5 on it. Nate put $5 on it because he's a psycho. And it was $5 to win 100 because they're down 4-0. And I think the Rays were up to bat. And they had like 2 people on. So it's like not looking good at all. But they come back to tie it. With, I think, Rizzo's home run, which is unbelievable.
We got both.
It was unbelievable because it's like Rizzo's up. It's the bottom of the 8th. And I'm like, okay, he needs to hit a home run here.
Yeah.
That will not only get us Rizzo home run, it will get us the over.
Yep.
Because it'll be 4-4 at that point. And obviously you can't tie. So there has to be at least one more run, which will give us 9. And then that puts us on track for the Yankees to win.
Yeah.
So he comes up, hits a home run. We go fucking ape shit. And then in extra innings, the Rays score 3 runs. So it's 7-4.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's fucking over.
Yep.
Until the Yankees come back.
But you sat there.
We sat there, Yankees, bases loaded. Excuse me. Bases loaded. Josh Donaldson comes up, hits a grand slam. Yankees win. And it's like fucking insane. 12 a.m.
Yep.
Because there was a rain delay. It was unbelievable. So
it's worth it.
The universe wants us to be addicted to gambling.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't, it would have been really poorly and no one would have ever came back.
Yep.
It was improbable. It was really fun, though.
So then we do all of this, and we're on our way out. We get our cash, and Nate and I are like, all right, we want to do some roulette. And we both took $50 from our winnings. We're like, we're going to drop it on roulette, double it up, go home with a cool $200, easy peasy.
Easy.
So we go to the roulette table, we put it down on red. A bunch of people that looked like they were tourists were there. They're like, oh, you like red? And we're like, yeah, red's good. So then they started like just shoving. It had to be hundreds of dollars on the table, just on every number that's red and different things like that. So we put it on red. The guy spins this ball around the roulette, for those of you who don't know roulette. And this thing starts bouncing around, and it lands like on the space between two numbers. So you have the red 18 and you have the black 6, and it like bounces on the red 18, registers as red 18, and then like bounces up and lands on like the metal part. The guy's like, this never happens. I don't know what to do. Called his like pit boss over or whatever, and she's looking at it and just like calling, like literally got on the phone, started calling the house, I guess, or something, and then all this other stuff. And they're like, okay, well, you got to pick it up and you got to put it on red 18, and then you spin again. It doesn't count. So then, of course, everybody's like, somebody there had a red 18 on the board.
Yeah, multiple people.
Yeah, so like imagine how just angry, like so it was. We were not happy. You were telling like, hey, that's an omen. That's a bad thing. Pull your money.
Never ever play after that.
Yeah, and we didn't, and we lost the money because they landed on black again. The thing that pisses me off more than anything, like if you would have done it and it landed on black, it's like, it's a 50-50 shot, like whatever, okay, fine. But the problem that I had was the screen where it's showing you all of the different things that have previously been done. If somebody's looking at that and trying to make a decision on whether they want to play because of all the different numbers, red 18 was on the screen. The computer said, hey, red 18 was hit.
Yeah.
That should be, in my mind, that should be law. Yeah. Like if the computer is saying that. So if somebody walks by, it's like, well, guess what? Red 18 technically wasn't hit, but it was. Like,
yeah, they should at least be able to remove it or something, right?
Yeah, they should erase that number so you know, oh, guess what? It was actually black for the past like 20 rolls or something. Because
it was all black for the past like 7.
Except red 18.
It was 0, 00, all black, and then we stepped up.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So that ended on a kind of sour note, not because we lost, but because I like truly felt cheated. Like it was like, man, this was ridiculous. It was like people were all yelling and stuff, and the poor guys just like, it's not me. I don't make the rules.
But it's the pit boss. She just walks away.
Yeah, she's like
nothing happens.
You don't get anything.
It's like, what are you going to do? It didn't land in there. It's like, well, the fucking machine is saying something different than what you're saying.
Yeah, the machine said it landed in there. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's like,
close the table down. I'm surprised they stayed there.
Close the casino down. Everyone should have pulled their money. Said, fuck this, walk away from that table.
Yeah.
You're not getting my money. But they're degenerates.
That all being said, that was enough for me to be like, well, I'm never playing roulette again. So I do want to play some blackjack. I enjoy watching blackjack a lot. But
dude, I like blackjack. I understand blackjack. Mm-hmm. I always lose at it.
Well, I think it's so silly because you watch Mike, who's doing the standard thing, the right thing, what you should be doing.
He deviates sometimes.
Does he?
I think everyone does.
I guess it just seems like he's like, oh, you want to do it this way? Oh, you want to do that? And like, I'm just taking him.
I've seen him though.
Value.
Like, I've seen him hit or stand on 16s.
Yeah. Well, people were standing on like 12s and stuff because it's all based off of like what the dealer has and all this other stuff.
You never.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. But that was anyway. The thing is, like, then you have someone like Nate who's just seat of his pants, doesn't matter, like whatever.
Yeah, Nate's wild, dude. Splitting 2s against like a 10 showing.
Yeah. I don't know. But hey, Nate did well. John did well. We did very well.
Won.
Everyone was happy. My cousins, I think, gave all their money to Nate. But other than that, it was a pretty good time.
Dude, it was good meeting your cousin. That was awesome. He bet on the Lions, so he's Team Lion.
Oh, they did do that?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think Justin did. And I don't know if they did the Predators. Apparently, Nate was like the Nashville Predators to win the Stanley Cup because it's
number 27.
Yeah, my number at the burger place was 27.
Yeah, which is my anniversary.
Which is your anniversary, and
but
I was like,
let's put
number. Let's do the. What was the roulette that hit? Was it 27? I hope it was
18.
No. 18 didn't hit. What did they roll after that?
Oh, I don't know.
You know what I'm
Can you
saying?
imagine
Was
if
that
27?
Because remember,
Is
originally
Black
I was.
27? I think it was 26. 26?
I don't remember. Are you serious?
I don't know.
That close?
I don't know.
Anyways, so I was like, let's put it on number 27 later.
Oh.
Because it's lucky.
See, I should put $8 on there.
But instead, he was like, the Nashville Predators are the 27th NHL team.
Yeah.
I am betting them to win the Stanley Cup. So inevitably, I followed that. So go Nashville. Big Nashville fan now.
Can you imagine?
If they win?
Oh my goodness.
No.
Yeah.
They won a couple of years ago. I mean, it's not it's not like you're betting on like, I don't know.
Sharks.
Yeah.
One of my
Ducks.
buddies really liked the Sharks for
Like
a while.
the Ducks or something crazy.
Anyway, I'm hooked. We're like, okay, what time are we doing it next week? You know, like that kind of thing.
I don't know if we should do it every week.
I don't know if we should either, but
wild. Like once a month?
Twice a month.
Twice a month?
Twice a month.
Twice a month?
I don't know.
You got to take into consideration I'm doing it on my phone every day. So it's not like
Yeah.
But the Cubs just won, so I'm good for next week. Covered.
Well, my whole thing is like I'm playing with the winnings that I have. So I have $108, like just ready to.
You have $8.
I have $8.
Because you put in the 100.
I did put in the 100, but I want it back.
All right.
I think we're just gonna take 100 and put it on a Sherb thing, right?
Just take 100,
Put it on
a
an
red
easy game.
again.
Look, man.
After you double that, you got a free 100 to play with.
Now that I know they can cheat at roulette, I'm just not.
That's wild. You should sue them. Sue
we
them for
have pictures.
$50. Yeah,
we have pictures. That might be the. You know what? I might put that as the cover of
today's episode.
of the.
It is wild. I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So
I enjoyed it. It was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And I started understanding baseball. Not that I didn't understand baseball. I know baseball, but I was starting to understand like the terminologies and like knowing like when I should be happy and when I should be sad and when I should like swear off gambling forever. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. No, it's hilarious. Like when you have money on the line, you become the biggest fan.
Oh my gosh, you guys are
fantastic.
I would say you were the opposite because you were preaching like kumbaya and everything. I was like, I don't know why I listen to you. Oh, what are we doing? It's just like, guys, we can't. It's like 5 minutes after we sat down and we're already blaming each other.
Dude, I told you, it's like you're on a pirate ship. Mm-hmm. There's going to be rough seas. Okay, you're going to start blaming each other a little bit. But when you come out on top, with the Athena chest, that's all that matters when you're divvying up the booty.
I like the idea that we're all like we're not trying to one up each other. It's all like, nope, we're all riding the same thing.
That's why you're not allowed to bet against each other.
Yeah,
that's why it's a rule.
Sure.
Could you imagine if Mike bet against us? And he won. And we lost. That would be the worst.
It'd be a different conversation.
Be a completely not even Mike, anyone.
Yeah.
If I did it, it'd be worst. It's scummy. Don't like it.
I appreciate it. And seeing everyone jump up and high five because we're all winning at the same time, it feels good.
Yeah, dude. When Rizzo hit a home run,
that was good.
It's just not a better feeling in the world.
Yeah.
You're like, this is unlikely, but what if it happens? And then it happens.
It makes me want to do, because my parlay obviously didn't work out with the Guardians and the Rockies, but I want to create something else. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you liked it anyways.
Yeah, it was super good.
So, speaking of good times.
Good times.
Good vibes. Recently went to Maryland.
The merriest of lands. Yeah.
Debatable. For a little cabin trip.
Yeah, a little Airbnb.
A little action out there. How'd that go, Ty?
Yeah. It went really well. I liked it a lot. We got a fairly big place. I think Nate said it was like 13 acres. Or something like that. It was large. We used maybe 1/2 of 1 acre.
Yeah.
But it was a large house. I think everyone had their own bedroom, own bathroom,
Has there ever been a time where someone had to share a room?
There were a couple times where maybe a couple single beds.
Oh, I actually had to share a room on your bachelor party.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, it was a nice place. It was actually very, very clean. Like we were near the river. A lot of jellyfish in the river.
Apparently, I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah. I never actually went down to the beach. I think everyone else did. Did you go down?
I went down the second evening by myself just to check it out. It was a really cool spot. A lot of good vibes there, but that's the funniest part of this. Like, we had this nice river and all this space. There's a volleyball net. There was like a little golf hole you could fucking mess around with and shit. And we just spent the whole time in the pool. Just nothing else.
It was all day.
Nothing mattered but the pool.
Do we want to talk about challenges thrown out in the pool?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah? I want the entire world on record to know.
John,
and then if anything embarrassing happens to you, I expect
then we will do that. It's totally
fine.
Yeah. So John challenged a few of us to a tread off in the water.
Mike started it. Okay. Mike wanted Nate or you, one of the two.
Had to be Nate.
Probably Nate. So Mike was going after Nate, and I was sitting there, drinking a little bit of Miller Lite. You know what I mean? Getting a little buzzy, little buzzy bee. And, testosterone starts flowing. You're like, well, if Mike thinks he can take Nate, I think I can take Nate.
Sure.
Lump Tyler in. Yeah. Got a little bit of a foursome. And so I challenged everyone to a tread off, essentially, in the deep end. So there was a deep end in the pool. So we were doing it, floating. Not floating, but
treading, as you would.
I think there was some floating going on, but other people say otherwise. We're about 7 minutes in, I'd say.
7 minutes, 40 seconds.
I look around and, these men, only accurate way to describe them are just, the movements are so minuscule that they have to perform to keep their head above the water.
Yeah.
And I am swimming as fast as I can to not drown.
Yeah.
At that point, it doesn't make sense to me still.
You're all muscle. Like if anything, it's a compliment.
I'm all bone.
Okay,
bones probably sink faster.
No,
right?
bones like hollow. You're like a bird, right?
No,
hollow bones.
I don't think we have hollow bones. I think that's. I don't even think we need the research part on that one. But anyways, we're 7 minutes in. I'm sinking like a stone. I'm just been like treading as hard as possible. I will admit my technique's not good. I think that factors in. I probably could add some time.
Yeah,
but I was never beating any of you.
Yeah,
and that was very clear.
So you tapped out at 7:40.
7:40, 7 minutes 40 seconds, not 7 hours 40 minutes.
Mike tapped out. I don't know. I don't remember his rationale.
Well, because he's like nothing's on the line, so
it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, well, which is fair assessment.
Sure, pride to me is a little high.
Yeah, but pride's a sin,
I guess.
So really, Mike's doing a humble.
Yeah.
And then he looks over at me and he's like, at least I wasn't 7 minutes. So it's like, all right, well,
so
nothing matters.
Then Nate and I are treading water.
Yeah.
Nate, like a madman, eats a piece of pizza while treading water.
He gets a Cheez-It first.
Oh.
And it kind of is a little bit of a pot pie situation where it's the spinach. So classic Nate fashion, he thinks more is better.
Yeah.
And he asks for a slice of pizza. Apparently you need 2 arms to tread.
Yep.
And then he taps out shortly after that.
And then, so we clock in at like an hour 8 minutes, just to kind of stick it to you. That's like, okay, we would last an hour longer.
Yeah. So I can't tread water.
That was a fun time.
Very well. I got memed on it all weekend. But
I'm over high noon seltzers. I think I've.
Apparently you have some weird thing with your teeth. Where your teeth start hurting.
Yeah. Well, so I thought they were sugar free, but then apparently it's no added sugar.
Yeah, there's real juice in it.
Yeah.
Last time I checked,
so
that's got sugar.
When you hit 20 of those, it's your teeth hurt.
Yeah. So. It was fairly interesting. So we were drinking pretty hard day one, I'd say. And we were feeling it pretty good.
Yeah.
But the rest of the trip is like impossible to feel anything.
The last night we were there, we were doing like shots of tequila because it was. So we probably should tell the story of going to get the tequila. Of okay, what do we want to drink? It's the last night.
Yeah,
let's get something because we're just out of booze, right? And we go to this the liquor store, and we ask where the tequila is, and she points around the corner, and then we were like, okay, cool, thanks. And we're looking at it, and I go back, and I'm just like, I don't drink tequila. I don't know what this is. Like I know 1800 is good. I'm not spending money for 1800.
Mm-hmm.
this guy, just big dude, like walks over. He's like, all right. And he starts like pointing to all these different things. Like, this is good. This is good. This is good. I'm like, okay, well, these people are like drunk. We don't need to spend the top shelf stuff. We can get something a little cheaper. So he points to like some cheaper stuff, which I guess, what was it? The San Jose, something like that.
I forget what we got actually.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the counter. It's gone now. Chelsea cleaned today.
Oh.
So we got that, but I picked up the 32-ounce bottle, and you said the guy's
so he points at the smaller bottle.
Yeah.
It wasn't Tito's, was it?
It was not Tito's.
Anyway, so he points to the smaller bottle, and Tyler nods, and he picks up this massive ass bottle. This guy's face was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. It was so funny. Yeah, he was shocked.
Yeah, just like a
absolutely shocked.
So basically, I spent the money. I spent the same amount of money on a larger bottle of but worse stuff.
Yeah.
That I could have spent on a smaller bottle that we probably would have finished, and it would have been like a perfect amount.
Oh yeah,
of the good stuff.
Yeah, because we finished half of the
we went through half of it. Like we went from, and Lindsay was like, I can either rage or go to bed.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, we're raging, so we just started doing
Tyler
shots.
Just jumps in the pool
just
immediately.
Tequila and just
Dude,
the thing is with tequila, you and I were not feeling it like at all.
No.
Like we were drinking in the pool.
Yeah.
And I
was a little bit, I would say. I wasn't
it was feeling
sober.
good. Yeah, like it wasn't like
but I wouldn't even say no.
Yeah, like you could walk straight. It wasn't crazy.
The shock of the pool like puts you in the perfect place.
Yeah.
So really what we found out is the pool is overpowered.
Yeah.
And like is a must requirement on every cabin trip from here until eternity.
I was worried it was like a situation where like if you're sitting down and you're drinking a lot, and then like whenever you stand up to go to the bathroom, suddenly you're just like, whoa. I was worried that we get out of the pool and like gravity hits, right?
That's what happened to some of the ladies.
Yeah.
But me and you and I,
yeah, it was fine.
Pretty fine.
Yep.
I could have operated a forklift.
I hate tequila, but I will say that it got better as the night went on.
I like tequila. I wish we had a lime, a little salt. Yeah. I tried Old Bay with my first shot, and my stomach rejected it instantly. It was a tough conversation to have with myself, but my body was like, no, never again.
It was funny because that trip was so like bad. That trip did not turn out the way I thought it was going to, but I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
Like I thought it was gonna be pretty low key. I'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna read and stuff. And plenty of people were reading by the pool, and it was just like super, super nice. I got food poisoning. That wasn't great. Well, I shouldn't even say food poisoning. I got my allergy, my shellfish allergy hit me and it was not good.
Yeah,
that was kind of miserable.
Yeah,
but that was like half a night.
No, it was a lot of fun. It's interesting to see. Obviously you have everyone has their friend group.
Yeah,
that they have, but seeing different configurations. And I think we saw, a lot of that because some people would go out, some people would stay back.
Yep.
Some people left early because they had to work on Monday, whatever. So seeing the different configurations of the friend group was interesting, how it changes the dynamic. So I would encourage others to explore that.
Yeah.
You learn a little bit of something about other people and yourself when there's different people around, right?
Yeah. We were very... I don't know how to like it. Yeah, I mean, it was like you and Miranda were just
you want to talk about the cult?
Yeah, we could talk
idea?
about the cult.
Yeah, go for it.
So the three of us were at a pool. Everyone else was kind of like breakfast.
I think it was breakfast. Yeah.
And we were like, okay, well, we're just gonna hang out at the pool like we've done the past 3 days or whatever.
We were literally in the pool for 4 straight days.
Yeah, it's great. And you always you always feel great coming out of the pool.
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter. You could eat whatever you want. You hop in the pool, and now you're suddenly like just like working it off.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we were talking about a cult, which then turned into like a series of like 7 books. And the cult would be essentially we create a cult and it's dedicated to the 7 deadly sins. Yep. And every like year of the cult would be like each year would be dedicated more to
a particular sin,
like greed or whatever like that. So I think we said that the first one was pride.
The first one was pride.
We'd pull people in, kind of like a prideful. Oh, okay, you can be part of like we do a soccer trip every year where it's just drinking and games and different things like that. But you can bill it as like this competition, right? Mm-hmm. So everyone that's prideful goes into this competition and they're trying to win. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But But then we were going through like different like the lust one, and then go to like greed and envy and all this stuff, and eventually you end with wrath, right?
Yep.
And it just turns into like Hunger Games meets Purge meets like everyone just tries to kill each other, and then the last survivor is the new cult leader, and then the cycle starts over again.
And the interesting thing we found out was apparently an asteroid's going to hit us as soon as the 7-year cycle's over.
Yeah, so 2020, it's 2022. 2029 is when the asteroid is going to miss us, but then in 100 years it'll hit us.
Oh,
after
okay,
that.
okay,
But
I see.
let's pretend that NASA is screwed up, because, I mean, numbers are hard. They might not have it right. Yeah.
You know.
The asteroid's coming closer than some satellites.
Right.
So, like, that's a thing.
That's a thing.
That's a concern.
Yeah.
But that's 2029. So if we started it now, we would have to write 7 books in 7 years and whatever.
One a year, yeah, easy.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Done.
Yeah, considering it's already like
I would
midway
do
through August.
I would do a picture book personally.
Sure.
That's just my kind of prerogative.
That's going to get kind of saucy when it gets to lust, but
true.
Yeah,
True.
we had a whole like sub story of people that are falling in love, and now they're pregnant and get kicked out of the.
We had quite a bit of time in the pool.
There's a lot of time in the pool. Yeah,
it was a lot of
anyway,
time. It was also structured in a way where like sloth is like you don't do anything for a year, and then
like
it
was like gluttony, sloth,
and then gluttony's followed by lust.
Oh, just to work it off.
To work it off or something. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Anyways, check those books out. Coming out sometime.
Coming out next year.
Yeah. So we got some. Speaking of the pool, which is a requirement from now until the end of the time on the cabin trip.
Yeah, for every future cabin trip has to have a pool.
Absolutely,
a big one. Like not even like it needs to be can fit dozen plus people. Yeah, totally. Like
I'm willing to like just go all in on the pool. Like nicest pool we can find.
Yep. 100%.
Fuck everything else. Yeah. Like middle of the wilderness. I don't care.
Yep. Olympic size pool.
Actually, I will
everyone
say
gets a shack in a outhouse.
Something we didn't mention was the bug situation was atrocious.
Yeah, definitely stay away from rivers
or lakes, any big body of water, except
or
the
outdoors.
Ocean. Or outdoors.
Yeah.
But dude, these bugs were massive down in Maryland, and probably the biggest spiders I've ever seen in my entire life.
They were up there because like I was in like looking at them. Like you have a pool and then you have like this like pagoda thing or whatever with like a big spider, and like very clearly could see that spider.
Yeah.
No matter how far away you were, as long as you were on like the deck area, which is a fairly large area, you could see that thing.
It was the size of a quarter.
At least.
Yeah.
I
$50.
We didn't get to see the legs out, right? Like it was always making the web and things like that. I think if you kind of could stretch that spider out from like leg to leg, I would say you're getting
horrifying
2 quarters. Yeah.
But yeah, a ton of bugs there. So I would say pool in the middle of like a desert or something.
Yeah.
Are bugs in the desert? Probably.
Probably ones you don't want to tangle with too, actually.
Yeah, probably even worse.
Like scorpions. Scorpions are bugs.
Yeah. No, and definitely not. But
what species are a scorpion? Not species. What classification?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Is it arachnid?
I don't think so. We're gonna send that one to the research department.
Okay. We're gonna get a lot of hits.
Absolutely. So anyway, speaking of pools. POOLS.
Yeah.
We have some polls. POLLS.
Yeah, just swapping the O for the L.
Swapping the O for the L. The old adage.
Yes.
An O in the bush is worth 2 in the L.
It sounds so dirty. Why does that sound dirty?
I don't know. I think anything sounds dirty that's like not real.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, so.
Oh man.
Oh, that actually does.
We were off a week. Did you know that?
Yeah. Did you ever post that?
No.
So
no. We were gonna post.
Tyler comes up to me. We were pretty hammered at this point. He's like, "So here's what we post." Hey, you say it. You do it better than me.
Yeah, this is like the one and only time I swear on this. No, but I was like, okay, John, here's the thing. Because John was telling me, hey, we need to, put these in the hopper, have them ready to go. I was like, no. We'll just bring the mics and everything. We'll record at the cabin. Not a problem.
Yep.
And he's like, it's a dumb idea. Never works out. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, nah, it's going to be fine. And then every night we would like push it. It's like, we'll do it tomorrow. And then eventually I was like, all right, John, this was going to happen. This is like the day after my allergies, and I'm like just dead. And I'm just like, all right, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go and find like one of our earliest episodes where you're doing the intro or whatever. And so I'll be like, oh, hey, I'm John. This is with me always is Tyler and stuff. And I'll just cut it. I'd just be like, we fucked up. And that's it. And I would just be like, real soft, and just, that would be the end of the episode. But
done.
Yeah, I feel like it's cheating. I would have probably labeled it as like a bonus episode or something.
Yeah, that would have been funny though.
Yeah.
But
and the funny thing is, we had 12 hours in the car, and we had we went the full gamut of funny conversations. Obviously, talked about the universe and asteroids. We talked about the viability of sperm in a hot tub, things like that.
Do you remember what temperature?
Yeah, 98.6. And
do you remember the temperature, the freezing point of neon?
460 something.
Negative
465.
0.5 maybe.
Sure, I don't know. We were very scientific.
But
anyway,
so
I know. But we went from that. We talked about cars. So I'm looking at a BRZ, a Subaru BRZ,
yep,
or a Toyota GR86. Those are the two cars I'm looking at.
Are those seriously the only two you're looking at?
At this point, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Really, it comes down to, will I like these more than the Civic?
Apparently, the Toyota is a little bit more expensive, I've heard.
It didn't look that. They looked pretty comparable to me. Here's the thing.
Maybe the markups.
Let me put it this way. If it's $1,000 more, $1,000
yeah,
to not have the red trim on the seats for the Toyota,
yeah,
I would do it.
Really?
Yeah. And I would give up the floor lights and everything.
I do love those floor lights.
I did show my one friend. I was like, I'm thinking about getting this. And I was like all excited. And I'm like, isn't this cool? And she was like, no, you'll be a douchebag. And I'm like, oh, not what I thought you were going to say. I thought it was going to be like, oh my gosh, that's
Tyler.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Be a lot of that.
You're a man now. And so anyway,
I don't think those are super offensive.
I don't think so either. I think they're skating the line between the only reason I'm even looking at them is because they're affordable.
Yeah.
And they're not like
entry level,
expensive.
Sure.
Yeah. But so we did that, and then we had like our nice, like, we were talking like super deep conversation of like what makes a good friendship and what like what are you looking for in a friend group and things like that. So
it was interesting.
It was really cool. It was a good time, but we didn't record any of it. And and those 6 hours, 12 hours are lost to time forever. I'm sure Chelsea. I kind of feel bad for Chelsea because she was just sitting in the car with us, just nonstop talking for a dozen hours.
Yeah, she's a saint.
Yeah,
for sure. So shout out.
Yeah. Anyway, polls.
We have some polls.
Yeah.
So we asked you guys a couple weeks ago now. Best Disney World park.
Yeah.
Tyler obviously went on his honeymoon to Disney World.
Yep.
And the other place?
Universal,
thank you.
Yeah.
So this was a pretty contentious poll. We got a tie, unless, did the research department do his own on this one? I don't think so.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it
I don't
either. So splitting the vote at 33%, Epcot and Hollywood Studios tied.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Epcot is such a, like, everyone I talked to with Epcot was like,
I think it's my favorite. I love Epcot.
Wow.
I love the countries. The rides are great there.
I didn't even know there were rides there.
Absolutely. Mission Space is there. Soarin's there. Fantastic.
Yeah, I should go with you next time.
I'm a very big. I've done the work.
I should say we should go with you. I don't want to insinuate that Chelsea's not invited.
Yeah.
I want Chelsea to be there
we
too.
We said, dude, my 30th.
Yeah.
We're going to spend a week in Florida.
So you would rather do that than
sports
like
betting?
The pools?
The pool. We can get a pool at a hotel.
That's true.
That would be an expensive vacation, but we have 5 years to prepare.
Yeah.
So get ready. So Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and then Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom were also tied at 17%. So pretty interesting numbers there. Yeah. My order personally is Epcot 1, Hollywood Studios 2, Animal Kingdom 3, Magic Kingdom 4. That's my personal ranking.
Without going to the Animal Kingdom, because again, with the whole zoo thing, but you talked it up and it seemed cool.
Yeah, it's like a reserve. I wouldn't even call it a zoo. I mean, there's a ton of space for the animals.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're not in the wild, so
sure.
that's true. But I was like explaining to Tyler, like the birds and shit, they fly around. Like they're not caged in anywhere. Like they will drop, land right next to you, walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all the animals are kind of free.
In some way, are we not really the same thing? Like when you think about it, it's like you can't. And I gotta be like, I'm not trying to like. Obviously, people are in terrible countries and they need to get out. Like, I'm not trying to be insensitive there, but I'm just saying, like, with all the checks and balances of even like state to state of like what you can like bring, I want to bring my marijuana. It's like, well, no, you can't do it here. You have to do it. It's like you're still in this you're still in this fake construct prison, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you can't. There's so many rules and stuff keeping you in a place that you are, be it financial, be it distance, be it whatever, that it's still like. I don't know. Like you can't. It's not like you can just go across the street and be like, "Oh, this is my land now, and I'm just going to live here." Like you can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but the same concept applies to the wild.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So even if they're not in a zoo, it's like, okay, well, I was born 50 pounds lighter than that lion. Guess I lose.
No. But what I'm saying is, like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I hate zoos because we're caging up all these animals that should be free. But then. Are we are we the caged up people too? Like, I
would say no, because we're not literally caged
up.
No,
I know. But I meant like...
We don't have like a fucking 9x9.
No. But that's what I'm saying is I don't like that. But when you're talking about like a reserve that like the animal kingdom has... Theory, I hadn't seen it. Then that's like, it's like a different argument.
I don't know. To me, it's like... I mean, in the wild's brutal, all right? I've been watching the greatest show of all time, Planet Earth 2. I don't know if you've ever seen it. On the BBC.
Haven't. I gave you my DVDs.
It is wild what happens out there. So, look, I mean, in the reserve, even in reserve, I mean, they can't monitor everything, right? I'm sure animals eat each other, right?
That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. Anyways, but in a zoo or something, you don't have to worry about getting eaten.
Right.
Right?
You think it's worth it, though?
I don't know. I don't...
Yeah.
Do the animals think it's worth it? Do they have enough comprehension to...
Yeah, like if you're born in a zoo, does it matter?
Well, if you're born in captivity like that, like they wouldn't be able to survive in the wild. That's usually how these situations go.
No, I know, but I guess what I'm saying is like there's a difference between taking an animal out of the wild and bringing them into a captive.
The zoos say, and this might just be propaganda.
It's propaganda.
Okay, well,
if a big, let me go ahead.
Well, they were saying like a lot of animals that are injured, they'll bring in, and then obviously like endangered species, they'll bring into zoos to save them.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's some of that going on.
I mean, hey, maybe if the zoos didn't take endangered species out of the wild, they'd be less endangered. I don't know. Who am I?
That's definitely not true. They're endangered, because of humans.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Anyway, I would say Hollywood is number one for me, Magic Kingdom 2, Epcot, and then Animal Kingdom. Without seeing Animal Kingdom.
I think Magic Kingdom is really boring. I think it's last for me. I do like Space Mountain, though.
Space Mountain is the biggest.
You just don't know. You don't know. You're a joke. You're a joke.
Sure, I am Space Mountain.
Anyways.
The
second question we asked, very thought-provoking and crucial to understand, is Cookie Monster in the top 10 fictional characters of all time? 80% of you said no.
Yeah.
And I am extremely disappointed in 80% of the audience.
I would like to meet the 20% that said yes.
It's not me. I didn't vote. I never vote.
Sure.
So there were 20% of our audience thinks Cookie Monster's in the top 10. Restores my faith in humanity. I mean, we only really need 20% of the Earth's population to relocate when it blows up. So if we
Is that true?
I don't know.
Is that accurate?
I say things. I don't think anything I say is accurate. You could repopulate with 20%.
What's 20% of 8 billion?
8 billion. Is it 8 now? Did we hit 8?
Oh, I don't know. I always say 8. Maybe it's 7.
I thought it was 7 for the longest time.
7.5, 7 billion. What's 10% of 7 billion? 700 million.
7, right? So 7?
700 million, right?
I think so.
So 1.4 billion then is 20% of the...
Or is it 70 million?
So why would it be 70? You're taking a zero.
7 billion. So how many millions does it take to get to a billion? 100,000, right?
Yeah. Never heard put that way, but sure.
1,000. So how many tens of millions does it take to get to a billion? 100, right?
Well, no, because you can have 100 million.
Yeah, 10 to get to 100 million. 20 to get to 200 million.
Yeah.
30 to get to 300 million. so on and
This
so
is this
forth, up
new
to
math
100.
thing that you're doing.
I think
I was right.
Research department, let us know. I think what'd you say? Oh, 20%?
I think it's 1.4 billion people is 20% of 7 billion.
Oh, I don't know what I was saying then.
I don't know
I thought we
either.
were talking about like 10% or something. I was going to say, I think 10% of 7 billion is 70 million.
There's too many zeros for my calculator to do it. All right, so
You gotta do it
7 billion.
sideways, yeah.
All right. So
I was
7
talking
billion.
10. I was talking 10.
Yeah, I think it's 1.4 billion.
Wait, what?
1.4 billion
It's 20%.
is 20%.
Which means
So cut that in half. It's
700 million? 700
I'm
million
sorry,
is
700
10?
million, yeah, is
10%?
10%. Yeah.
All right, we'll chalk that one up to you.
That's sad.
What's sad?
I'm terrible at math.
Whatever.
All right.
I'm worse.
It's treading water in billions. I hate that you're rubbing your eyes. I'm so sorry. Chelsea literally cleaned the heck out of this place. She vacuumed.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Like everything. She was vacuuming like the cat tower, everything. I did feel bad. That's one thing we didn't mention while we were driving up is you were sitting next to a suitcase that was a cat bed for like a week. And you were just dead for 6 hours.
Sometimes I get those like really severe allergies, and I just I'm done for the day.
Yeah, you're done.
Like I took medicine, everything. I sat in the pool, drowned myself. I did feel better when I was in the pool. I think pools are OP. And I think salt water is even more OP. Like I think if I was in the ocean, I would have felt better like instantly.
Yep.
I think salt water cures everything.
Between the sand, like the exfoliant there, and the salt, like oh my goodness, yeah.
I wish I could live like next to a beach, dude. I feel like I'd be so much happier. Just get sun and to get that salt water.
I'm sure there's like a fine line between like, oh, now your skin's like super dry or something like that.
Maybe.
But, yeah.
But Cookie Monster's the greatest. I am proud to say that 20% of our audience thinks so.
Yeah.
He's the best.
He is very good.
All right. Kind of on the same vein there. What's the best donkey?
Yeah. This was something that we were just sitting around talking about.
I think these are all something we're sitting around talking
Well,
about.
I guess in the cabin, yeah.
So we gave you 3 options here. We gave you Donkey from Shrek, who is a top 5 sidekick. Number 4, I believe.
Number 4, yeah, one of our original lists.
Maybe our second poll, or not poll.
Yeah, I think it's second one.
Second top 5. Eeyore is on here from Winnie the Pooh.
Yep.
Little pin the tail.
Great donkey. Yeah.
Love Eeyore. And then the donkey Jesus rode in.
Very important.
The Bible.
I had to explain why that was
I think
more
his name
important
is
than
something.
Thaddeus. I had
it
to.
really? It's did we look it up? We found what name it was.
No.
That's the name. Yes.
That donkey's
There was a
not
TV show
named.
about it.
Yeah, sure. A fake name.
Okay,
There's
maybe
no
it's
way
fake.
that
It was a cool
donkey
name,
is
though.
named.
Donkey from Shrek absolutely obliterated this poll. Eeyore got 13%.
Oh man.
Donkey from Shrek got 87.
And what did Thaddeus get? Anything?
0.
0%. No
big
one likes
O
Jesus. This is
for
why
the donkey
This is why
Jesus
the asteroid's
rode
going to
in.
hit us in 7 years.
I thought there'd be someone who's like, all right.
Yeah, no.
You know,
the
this
asteroid's
donkey-
coming, and then Jesus looks down and is like, oh, hey, what's this poll? Oh, this on me. 0%.
That's going to be the.
And then he just flicks the asteroid directly
Yeah,
into
that's
us.
true.
It's going to miss us by a mile. Now it's going to hit us.
You know who else looks like a 0? This asteroid flicks it towards us. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. Donkey from Shrek won. I would agree.
Yeah.
I wish there was more of an argument for Eeyore and Thaddeus, but what are you going to do? I mean,
I'll give you the Jesus is not popular right now.
no.
Right? So, like, I get
Well,
that.
I don't know if he's ever really popular recently.
Well, that's what I mean. So I'll give you that one. But Eeyore, I feel like people typically should, I don't know, you should feel at least a little bit sad. Like, Eeyore's just sad all the time.
I love Eeyore.
This is not going to help his spirits.
Eeyore is one of those characters that I love, and I really don't have a good reason.
Eeyore?
Yeah.
Eeyore's top 10 characters of all time.
I'm close to agreeing with you.
Oh, man.
But I don't know
agree with
why.
that.
I can't really, put the tail on it. You know what I mean?
I got to roll that back. Yeah.
Really, you don't think so?
I don't think you
Give me one of your top 10 characters.
Top 10 of characters of all time?
Give me a hot take. Is there anyone that you would be like?
Oh.
Maybe it doesn't have to be like set in stone, but someone who's close.
No.
That
It has to be fictional characters of all time.
I guess I don't think it'd be fun if it was real.
Yeah.
Ranking real people's like so much less interesting than me.
Yeah. I mean,
me.
I would say Jack Sparrow is probably my top 3.
Wow. Okay, that's wild.
I just think he's
He is
such a good character.
Yeah. But that's more performance than writing to me.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it matters.
Sure.
I'm just saying. I'm just making an observation. I think that's like 90% performance.
Yeah, I think 100% of Cookie Monster's performance versus the writing.
That's beautiful. That's what makes it beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's all imagine doing what Jack Sparrow does.
Right.
Minimal words, one prop.
Can't do it.
Exactly.
That's a good argument.
Yeah, he's the best. Googly eyes, blue fur. He makes me laugh every
Look, man,
time.
your conviction is inspiring as hell. I can't.
I'm just thinking about it. It's fucking hilarious. Man. He shoves a cookie in his mouth. Oh. So we were talking about, this is actually an interesting conversation. So we were talking about, we have quite a few T-shirt ideas. We should be writing these down.
We should. That's the one thing we don't
So
write
there's
down.
one with donkey being 4.
Yeah.
Right?
Subverting expectations.
Yeah, I forget how we structured that T-shirt.
There's only something that we could go back and listen to with a documented thing. Anyway, go on.
Neither of us will.
Yeah.
Research department.
Ooh.
Research department.
Because we're that lazy.
Oh
we
my
won't.
God. There's no way he does it, right? Fishing through all the episodes. There was also one that was like a combination between mushroom and the plasma pistol.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really clever, and I totally forget what the fucking context was.
That was on the Halo weapon one.
It was
so
the
we could-
Halo
we could
weapons
find that
one,
out.
but like obviously mushroom pizza is our number one for some reason.
Yeah.
No, for an obvious reason.
Yeah.
It's not that obvious.
It's very good.
Anyways, but it was like a clever thing where you're like, oh, we should put that on a T-shirt. So that's the second one. But the most recent one was I'm Jonathan Perez. Everyone trusts me.
Yeah.
And you said put that on a shirt, and I said done.
We were talking. I gotta thread the needle here. We were talking.
I was not even going to touch it.
No,
so
I know, but we need
it's
some
all you.
context, and I think that anyone that works.
I think less is more on this one. I'm
You think?
Jonathan Perez. Everyone trusts me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a line, I think that in the working world, I think that if you work in a group and everyone has their own specializations and stuff, I think if everybody just said essentially if everyone stayed in their lane and it's just like, yep, I trust you, whatever.
Yeah.
That it would make for a much happier workplace. Just right off, like before anything else, any of the other drama, just instant, like it would be better.
No, I totally agree. And I think there needs to be a philosophy. I think successful businesses or really any kind of environment, I'm sure you could draw parallels to teams or families if you really want to. I think there's any kind of environment where it's a group setting. The top down, in a workplace, for example, you're hiring these people. So, I mean, there's some amount of interest you have in them, obviously, by their skill set or whatever. I think there's a period of time where you want to see, everyone's hired someone and they don't turn out. Like they interview really well and then maybe they don't perform as well as they've talked about themselves.
Yeah.
But if you get to a point where you understand what they're capable of, comfortable with their work ethic, everything like that, there should be some trust there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, that to me, that creates freedom for them to really do what you're paying them to do. I don't know.
I mean,
That's
I wonder
my-
if they don't trust you, is it
thought.
really just saying like they don't trust themselves? Like, are they not
Right.
trusting themselves
Yeah.
that they pick the right people for the right?
Yeah, isn't that
jobs?
what it boils down to, I guess,
Yeah.
at some level? I don't know.
Absolutely, man.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's complex, though.
Yeah.
I think part of it is ego, though. You're like, well,
You gotta justify it.
I'm at a higher
justify it.
level.
Yeah.
I know better than this guy.
Hey man, I've been
Right? So it's
flipping
like-
burgers for 20 years. You ask me how to flip a burger, I'm gonna tell you. Like I'm gonna have an opinion on that. Like, oh, you used, this method of flipping. Well, that's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that. I was trying to
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
try to make it general.
But,
It didn't
yeah.
work out.
Anyways,
And now I'm shaming burger flippers or something. You don't even flip a burger anymore.
no.
You just throw it on a grill and hit 2 buttons.
Right.
It's not great.
I can only tread water for 7 minutes, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, those are our polls. Thank you for voting. It's always a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Cookie Monster is the greatest symbol of peace.
It's a
If Cookie Monster was president, would there be any war? Maybe. We actually might invade every country for the cookie squad.
I'm pretty sure there would be
There might be some crazy
Cookie
special
Monster
ops
is giving
going
away
on.
the nuclear codes for the cookie.
Give away? I don't think he'd trade. I think he would use the nuclear codes to take cookies.
No, because you can't eat the
threat of
cookies
it,
if
the
a
threat
nuke
of
goes
it,
off. You know what I mean?
The threat of it. He'll sacrifice one city in a country to get the rest of the cookie supply.
Yeah, okay. Well, what city in a country has the worst cookies?
Moscow. Do Russians have cookies? I'm sure they probably do.
I would assume they do. I think they call them biscuits. Though.
Every country must have some form of a cookie.
Yeah.
I wonder what cookie. I mean, obviously the chocolate chip has got to be his favorite.
Well, the only thing with you would need to understand like what plants, like where are like Oreos made, where are Chips Ahoy made, and things like that.
Mm-hmm. I think a good Sesame Street special would be Cookie Monster Travels the World, and then you learn about different cultures' cookies.
Yeah.
So you could kind of introduce kids to different cuisines.
And you'd have all of the like the chefs and the bakers and everything present these like really gorgeous things, and then he just destroys it.
Yeah, and it'd still be fucking hilarious because he's the man.
I would maybe bump him up a little bit in my poll.
That's
like, my
great
rankings.
We should contact Sesame Street.
Yeah.
They probably want to hear from us.
Does he only do chocolate chip? I think I've only seen Cookie Monster.
I think I've only seen him do chocolate chip.
Maybe he doesn't like cookies. Maybe it's literally just chocolate chip. Can you imagine that? Just chocolate chip cookies and nothing else. Like he doesn't care about anything else.
No, I have more faith in him than that. I think he likes stuff. So, anyways, that's the polls.
Yep.
At Couchco Games on Twitter. Check us out. We got polls usually every week. Usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Been more sporadic. I'm just doing them when I want to do them now. I think that's a better method.
Sure.
I think, the spontaneous nature of them
yields a bit of spontaneity is good.
Yeah. So, check us out there. A lot of people don't have Twitter, and I understand why. Twitter's horrible, but for nothing else, tell me that Cookie Monster's the best, honestly.
Well, it's too late now.
Too late now, but there might be another poll.
Maybe there's like an annual poll. Or
like, is Jack Sparrow a top 3 character of all time?
Ooh.
That might be another poll that I do right now.
I feel good about that.
And it's going up.
All right.
On the twits, the Tweety Bird.
On the Tweety Bird. Speaking of cults, one thing I wanted to talk about, because I'm going to do this while you're tweeting it out, but I started playing a game called Cult of the Lamb, which I'm trying. I don't want to tease you too much with it.
Yeah.
But it's like Hades, so one of the greatest games of all time, mixed with a little bit of like Animal Crossing, maybe a little Stardew Valley thrown in there. But it's a roguelike where you go around and you're this lamb who was sacrificed, so you were killed, but then one of the, I'm going to say 5 gods spared you and said like, no, you're my servant now. Go make a cult and kill the other 4 gods, which is kind of crazy. So the whole loop of the game is you go through a procedurally generated dungeon, collect resources and gold and items and different things like that, bring it back to your cult. So you're rescuing animals and things like that. Bring them back to your cult and just create this cult where they are worshiping you and you're leveling up and you're decorating and doing different things. And you have to keep them fed and happy and they're crapping everywhere and throwing up everywhere and you have to like clean up after them and things like that. And eventually you make this cult prettier, more like self-sustaining and different things like that. It's real good. It's might be, as of right now, it's in my top 3 this year, I would say.
Okay.
It's very good.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people playing it. It looks interesting. I originally saw you playing that on the cabin trip.
Yeah, I was playing on the Switch. It's fine on the Switch, and I think it runs mostly at 60. It's tough because the animation's a little
wonky.
Maybe not as smooth. But then I started playing it on PC again because I'm like, wow, like the load times are so much faster on PC. That I was like, I'm just gonna do it here.
So you'd say PC is the preferable way.
PC is the preferable way to go. Apparently, I just double paid. That's how much. Luckily I liked the game enough to be like, all right, well, I have it in both places.
Right.
but
so that's a good sign.
It's really good. Yeah, it was really fun.
So one thing you did mention about the game is there's a lot of mechanics to it.
Yeah, it seemed like for the first maybe hour, 2 hours, it was like every, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, another thing's popping up, and it's like, oh, here's this, and you can do this, and this, it. And at first, I was like, oh man, this is the type of thing where I'm like, you're putting there's too much, like you're pausing the action too much to try to give me new systems to understand. But oddly enough, and this doesn't have like I didn't get overwhelmed with it. And they do it in some clever ways of like, okay, you could do like this, and you might not get all of it, like when they're pinging you and all the dialogue boxes are popping up, but within maybe 5 minutes after that, they cleverly force you to do certain things in such a way where it's like, oh, that makes sense. And they do this kind of thing with like the different, almost like Animal Crossing. But Animal Crossing is typically like, oh, can you bring this chair over to this person? And they're like, cool, I'll give you a wallpaper. With this, it's like, oh, hey, I heard that so-and-so is a spy for a different cult. You need to lock them up. So then you can either say yes or no, and you can do all these different side missions and stuff. So like I have different cult members that are like telling you to lock him up and like, oh, you should sacrifice him and just literally murder him. So that's really funny. And then you get this kind of like skill tree. So you're always leveling up your character, and you can level up your cult, but then you can get like unlock doctrines. So if your cult worships you enough, you have enough members, you can unlock these doctrines where essentially it just flips 2 cards, and it's like, all right, there's I'm making this up, but it's like, here's one where your entire cult fasts for like 3 days, so they're not going to like take away from your food production. Or there's another one where it's like you have a feast, but then your faith levels get super high or something like that. But yeah, to your point, there's a lot of systems. So you have like food systems, you have your waste management systems, you have like they'll go to sleep. You have trinkets. So in like Hades where you can give people gifts and things like that. In this one, you can go to different people and you get like these necklaces. So it's like, oh, hey, I can make you never go to sleep. And I put that on you, and now you're just working 24/7, and that's that. They have a dice mini game, so like Gwent, and how kind of Witcher like threw that in. This is it's not Gwent, but it's like it's the same type of thing where it's like this whole other game that's just in this game.
Yeah,
they have a fishing mini game, which is like any other fishing game you've ever played. There's a dude that loves mushrooms, and he's just stoned out of his mind and stuff like that. Anyway, there's a lot of like cool little hidden things and things like that. I know generally speaking, people are saying it's like about like a 12-hour game, and I think if you mainline it, you could probably do that. I could easily see going 30 hours with this. But I like grindy games. It is a little bit grindy because you have to like, it's like a roguelike, right? Like you just keep running through it, and if you die, okay, we'll do it again. It's not super punishing, so like if you die, you don't like lose everything you have. It's fine, but it's very fun. I enjoy it a lot.
So you have to. So it is a roguelike then, where you have to advance in this sort of dungeon-esque kind of thing, get further and further.
Yeah,
and then when you die, you go back to home base, and that's where all your followers and
yes.
Okay, I see.
And time is happening while you're away. So there's this kind of weird thing where like once you go through, there are 4 like biomes almost where you just kind of go through it. They're all kind of the same. It's like one's underwater, but visually speaking, it's like one's blue, one's red, one's green, one's yellow. Like
right.
And you might find like certain resources in certain ones, but like the cool thing is once you beat it once and you kill the god of that biome, you can go through it again and kill the bishop of the biome. And once you do that, you unlock the essentially endless mode. So if you have a really good stag, really good weapon, really good, like you get like tarot cards that are like buffs that you can get. So like every hit you do fires a projectile or poisons somebody or whatever. So if you have a really stacked run, you're like, oh, I wish this wasn't over. If you've already completed it once, now you go into like this like portal or whatever, and it's like this endless mode where you can just farm as long as you stay alive, right? Which is really cool. The catch is you better have your cult like fed and watered, and like they better be happy but when you leave, because time doesn't stop. So like as you're there, it's just going. So when you're away, let's say the bathrooms get full and then people just start crapping everywhere
Seems to be a big problem in the game.
But then that happens, and then people get angry, and eventually your faith level rises in your leadership, and then you'll start having different villagers like dissent. So then they'll start spreading it, and like you could come back, and your whole cult's like revolting. They're just like it's crazy. They're just riding at you. Yeah, it's really, really neat.
So you would say that even though they introduce a lot of different mechanics, they do it in a way that's manageable and
very much so. And it keeps you. There's always that other thing. And Animal Crossing did this a ton, but Animal Crossing wasn't like you had to kind of keep track of your like what you wanted to do. This gives you missions super easy to figure out. And if you have like an unlock or something, like a building has like it's not glowing, but it has like a black like column near it. So you're like, oh, I can do something here. So it really kind of guides you really well, but it's not like beating you over the head with it either. It's really great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you like the game. It's another one. It was pretty interesting. On the cabin trip, we actually kind of sat down. I mean, he was playing that previously, but we kind of talked about, here are the top rated games this year so far. This is, kind of what we need to check out. So in preparation for like the end of the year, when you start talking about game of the year discussions, we're kind of ready for that. So would you say this is, I would imagine this might be in the conversation.
I would, as of right now, I would put it in the conversation. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, not a lot. A lot has come out, but I think this is the perfect game for me where you can pick it up, do a run. Runs take anywhere from like 5 to 8 minutes. It's super quick, and you can kind of just like check in. And the nice thing is, it's not like Animal Crossing where like time doesn't continue when you're out of the game.
Right.
So like when you close the game, it's saved. You're good. It's done. So
sweet. I'm glad you like it. That's awesome to hear. Good experience with that.
Yeah. What about you? What you started one? So we basically, like you were saying, we made a list of all the games coming out, and we're kind of divvying them up and seeing like, oh, what interests you, and you like story and narrative driven stuff.
Yeah. So the game's called Norco.
Norco.
Right. Norco. Norco.
Yeah. Norco.
Anyways, it's a point and click narrative game, like Tyler said, pixelated. Pretty interesting. So I was telling Tyler when we were like on Discord when I was playing, it like reminds me like some of the old Flash games that are like kind of point and click adventure. Like you have to find different objects, you got to click on things and shit like that. And a lot of the games, like it's very dialogue heavy. The game takes place in New Orleans, and I think it's like not a post-apocalyptic, but definitely future, and it's like kind of rough.
Dystopian.
Like a dystopian, yeah. Kind of like you described it as like a cyberpunk kind of feel. I can feel that. There's like robots and stuff. And
that, I wasn't talking about that game. I was talking about Citizen Sleeper.
Oh, anyways. Well, this is kind of similar. I wouldn't say full cyberpunk, but yeah, it's definitely futuristic, dystopian. The game looks really nice, actually. I was kind of describing it, even though it's pixelated, which isn't like my super favorite genre. The color palette that they use and the lighting is like pretty interesting. So like you get this really pretty like sunsets, and they do the city really well when you're kind of in the middle of the city and stuff like that. So it's actually pretty interesting. You look at the cover, you kind of get an understanding of the color palette. So I think the colors that they use, and look, I'm not an artist, so I'm talking out my butt here, but it's really interesting. If I had to guess, it has to be inspired by some form of painting or maybe like a specific painter. And I would, since it's New Orleans, I would guess maybe like a French style or painting.
Okay.
Because I don't know, I just get this reaction. It elicits a reaction where it's like it's a very specific style and color palette that it has to be a reference to something. I would assume.
Does it use the color to help with like any type of like puzzle? Like is it like light puzzles or anything like that, or is it just kind of
not really
realistic-ish and it's just like artistic?
Kind of realistic-ish. I would say like the game's pretty dark narratively. Like I mean, the game starts like your mom died and you come back home. Okay. And that's kind of the catalyst for the whole story. And then you start uncovering, like, right now I'm looking for my brother. We don't know where he is. And our mom had, like, some sort of secret. She uncovered something.
It's like God of War.
I guess.
Yeah.
When you put it like that. But it's cool because there's, like, this big government organization. I think they're called S.H.I.E.L.D. And
this is nothing like I thought. Like I'm actually kind of interested.
yeah, it's kind of cool. So there's like it's like dystopian. So like there's this big organization. I think they make the robots and stuff, but they kind of own everything, and like you're either in or you're out. Like it's a very two class kind of system. So it's pretty interesting. But anyways, the game is dark in terms of narrative. Like it's kind of, you're kind of in the slums, and just by, who you're interacting with and everything like that and where you're at, kind of depressing. Like these people don't have much, and I don't know. You're in a bar at one point, and one of the standout characters is this like detective who's like he thinks he's great, and he's obviously like just a loser, and like he's like withholding information to help you find your brother unless you keep buying him drinks and shit. So it's like it's interesting, but the color palette seems kind of warm to me. Like it uses like these orange and yellow tones. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like warm. So it's a very mixed feeling I get from looking at it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Something sticks out. Like, I mean, the sun.
Like the game is off-putting in the kind of like. So the game narratively is cold, but everything you're seeing is.
I wouldn't say everything.
Warm.
Like you have a flashback where you play as the mom, which is interesting. You kind of explore that a little bit, and that's all at night. Mm-hmm. So that's obviously a darker palette.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
But when you're in like the present day, like there's this scene that sticks out in my head where you're riding on a motorcycle, going to try to find your brother. You're like crossing this bridge, and there's just like really pretty sunset, and it's orange and warm, and you have like a big conversation on the bike. And it's just kind of I would describe it as like a you know how you'll sit at a sunset and it's like kind of melancholy, like reflective.
Yeah.
And it's warm. It's a warm color, like that setting orange kind of feel. Mm-hmm. But it's not a happy necessarily. It's more
nothing about
serious.
This game sounds nothing about this game sounds
it's
happy.
pretty serious. I mean, there's some funny moments in it, but it's a pretty serious game, I'd say.
So any voice acting? This is
no
all
voice
just dialogue.
acting.
You have to read it.
It's all dialogue. Very old school, like I said.
It's your favorite.
The sound design's great.
Okay.
Like the sound effects are really awesome, specifically when you're doing that flashback as the mom in the city. They just kind of nail that. You feel like you're in a city. It's just really good sound design.
How much rain have you seen? Do they have
no
a rainy
rain
level yet?
No rain yet. I will let you know.
I feel like when you do pixels, like rain isn't easy. Like, okay, we'll do this. Always looks good.
And I would say in terms of mechanics, there's this kind of interesting mechanic called your mind map.
Okay.
So it starts out and it has all these portraits that are grayed out. Mm-hmm. And as you are getting information, they start lighting up with all these different characters that you meet. So it's a good way to keep track. And like your mom's one of the characters, obviously. And like when you click on your mom's portrait, it'll start from the beginning and everything that we learned throughout the game about her.
That's cool.
And you can keep track. So it's kind of like a mystery, obviously, because apparently our mom uncovered something big, probably related to the organization, obviously.
Oh, so, probably.
Yeah, probably.
She's the leader of it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be a plot twist. But I think it's a cool way to keep track. And it's like you can, I remember that character, and you can reference it easily and everything
what was the game I played that was like a time looper? Looper? No.
Loop Hero?
Deathloop?
Deathloop?
Does that sound right?
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. But that's kind of the same. Like, I like when games do that where they give you this like map and all the information you found. You feel like you're like the virtual, like you put everything on a wall, put string next to it and different things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think Deathloop did a good job with it purely on like a UI standpoint. Like it felt bad to do around with that. So if a game can do that well, like, I mean, do you feel like it
I think
controls
it's
well?
Yeah, so it's actually interesting. So, the thing I hate about like point and click games is like sometimes you get lost and you're like, oh man, I forget who I have to talk to. But it does a good job of reminding you, hey, we need to go here. And it's not super overwhelming. Like it feels like there's enough areas where it's not linear, but at the same time, like you can explore all of them and be like, oh yeah, I remember. So like it'll say, oh, we need a fuse for the bike, or we need dog food for the stray dog. And you're like, I remember seeing that. and making those connections. That always feels good. Also, it does a cool thing where in the dialogue, which I'm sure other games have done, I just can't think of one. Anything important, like a quest item or something's highlighted. And I love that. So that you're like, okay, I need to find this.
Tyranny did that very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tyranny actually did one better where you hover over it and it gives you like a description
right there. Yeah.
So this one's not as good as that, but it's good because it's like, oh, so I need to get this. Oh, so I need to talk to them. So I need to go there. So when it highlights
Can you turn that sort of stuff off at all? Like, can it be like almost like hard mode where you have to like write everything down and stuff? Maybe not.
I don't think so. But that's like the old school, right?
Right.
Where they just give you a fucking book and it's like,
oh
my God. Yeah. So overall, I'm pretty, it's only like a 6-hour game, apparently. I'm maybe like an hour or two in.
Yeah, it doesn't sound anything like I thought it was. And it's funny because I was like, "Oh yeah, hey John, you love this game," but all I heard was it was narrative, and it has like the trees, like the dialogue tree, right?
Yeah, dialogue options, which are not as expansive as maybe you'd think.
Yeah,
but you have to make some choices. I don't know how that's going to affect things. It's going to be interesting, but yeah, it's a little bit slow starting, but I'm kind of interested now because the intrigue's there, the mystery's there, so we kind of have the objective, and we'll see how it goes. It's pretty cool so far. I think. So I was talking to you a little bit earlier about this. This was my last thought on it. The critic scores are very high for this game.
Yeah,
and the user scores are not as high, and I always like looking at the distinction between both.
You're talking Metacritic specifically?
Yeah, I used Metacritic for this, kind of similar like to Rotten Tomatoes, where you have a critic and a user score. And I think a game like this, very artsy, very kind of big brain, because like the way the dialogue is presented, it's almost like, it's not unreadable, but I don't know. It seems like interesting sometimes, like poetic at points, if that makes sense.
No, I totally get it. There was one. A JRPG, and I want to say it was Bravely Default. I don't think that's correct, but there was depending on who you talk to, some people like talked in poems or talked in a very like old school way.
Yeah.
And I did not care for that at all. It's not Bravely Default. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, just sometimes like some characters. Some characters are straightforward, but it's a little bit interesting in that regard. It's a very artsy game, I guess, and I think that's why you're seeing that difference.
I got you.
Not that the user score was bad by any means, but the critics definitely really, really like the game. So
it's interesting because you see that a lot. I would even argue a lot more on PC, where if you look at games and you sort them by like overwhelmingly positive reviews, that's the highest rating you get on Steam. And I'm like, oh man, this is amazing. But then when you look at like a Metacritic score. Honestly, even like critics, it's just like, oh, it's got like an 80. Still good, but when I see overwhelmingly positive, I'm like, oh, this is like top tier stuff, and it's not.
Yeah, I think
from a critic score anyway.
PC gamers are very selective and protective of their like Fallouts will always get like 100% overwhelmingly positive kind of things. Not that Fallout's a bad game, but I don't know. It's just those kind of games that.
Or on the flip side, negative. You can get overwhelmingly negative if you have a bad launch and it's just busted
like
on
Cyberpunk,
PC.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which I don't think is a bad game. The launch was bad.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it. That should contribute to your overall score, right? Like if you can't deliver on promises and things like that.
Dude, Cyberpunk, they had to take it off the PlayStation Store for like months.
Again, my experience was really good with that game, though.
Which is great.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. It's just, when you're talking about someone's money and nowadays with it that being $70.
Just put it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Well, Norco's on Game Pass, so that's
Norco's on Game Pass. We'll see. I'm excited to finish. I should be done by next week, so we can definitely talk about it.
I will be shocked. So, I think Call of the Lamb, I think it's like $24.99. It's $25.
Yeah.
Absolutely worth it. I would be shocked if Call of the Lamb doesn't hit Game Pass by like 12 months from now. I would be
interesting.
Very, very surprised. It's a perfect game for it.
Yeah. Apparently, Elden Ring got leaked on Game Pass. It was a mistake, guys. It was a what did they call it?
It was a glitch.
A glitch.
It was a glitch.
Yeah, which means it is going to be there, and it
It's
was
gotta be.
put it on there before.
That's what they did with Madden. Madden's on Game Pass.
Yeah,
Which I guess
the
you
new
don't even
Madden.
have is there not an athlete on the front of the Madden cover? Now it's just John Madden.
Oh, well, he died, so
Yeah, that's what I mean.
yeah,
so
I think
it's just
this
like,
one might be just
him.
John Madden. Yeah.
Yeah, give it a little reset. Maybe. Oh man, that's it right there. And there's no Madden curse this year.
Wow.
I wonder.
Maybe
what
everyone's
Vegas is gonna
cursed.
do, yeah.
Maybe everyone's going to do bad. Interesting.
Rest in peace,
Interesting.
Madden.
Yeah. No. Madden used to be good like 20 years ago.
We have our fantasy league coming up. When is that? Did we decide on
Monday.
the date? This Monday.
So you're listening to this, and we're
man.
drafting right now.
Yikes! All right. Well, I gotta look up some things.
Yeah, me too.
I also gotta pay John. I need to get that $20 out of my
Yeah.
out of my bank account
You should,
ASAP.
yeah, you got to get that done. But yeah, that's
it. Sorry we were gone last week.
yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we really wanted to, but also just could not do it.
We learned though.
We will always stack them. That's the learning.
Conceded that experience will be the time I point back to
Yes.
when he wants to bring the mics to another
and
cabin trip.
we'll front load them, and we just don't have to worry about it.
Absolutely.
We'll have it pre done. Next week is going to be very good.
Next
Do we
week.
want to tease it? Is that a locked in thing that we're going to do?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Well, if you like pizza,
I love pizza.
So the One Bite app does regular pizzas, just cheese pizzas, right?
So Dave does cheese. If you look at the One Bite app, which is Barstool's pizza app,
Yeah.
that Dave Portnoy created,
Yep.
the users do like whatever. So you can. That's part of the reason you got to post a picture.
Yeah.
of the
Right.
pizza before you eat it. So yeah.
So we're gonna do pizza. We're gonna get a pizza pie. It's a local.
Yep.
So we had a couple. While we were in Maryland, we're like, hey, we should. Well, you said, hey, we should rank this, or not rank it, but like review it.
Yeah. So what I did was I was looking at pizza in Maryland,
Yeah.
like around where we were staying. I was like, what's the highest rated on the app? That was closed.
Yeah.
So we got the second highest rated, or one of them, which was 7.7 on the app,
Yeah.
and we gave it a 7.1.
Yep.
You can check it out on Twitter. Actually, we give you.
I should put. Yeah, that's right. You
I
posted
put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can get the app as well. It's a cool app.
The lady opened the door for us when we were coming in, and I thought it was just like that, like they were just doing a service or something. I was just like, oh, hey, welcome to.
I think they were leaving.
They're trying to get out, and we were just
Yeah.
coming in. So whoopsies.
So
But,
it was a 7.1. We got different specialty pizzas, but we got the mushrooms. So I'm saying,
yeah.
for the Couch Company podcast, we will be rating mushroom pizza since
Yeah,
that is our
it's our
number one
topping. Yeah.
Topping.
The real question is though,
Yeah.
if the pizza place has artichoke hearts.
We'll get it. Absolutely. We'll do a
Okay.
little bonus review.
Yeah, maybe do like a half and a half.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
no. We'll do each.
Okay.
I don't know if you can do two separate ratings for the same place. Probably not. But
Well, no, I meant like half and half, just like to give like a
yeah.
little taste. I don't know.
Anyways,
Okay.
so we got the mushroom. It was good. The problem was the story Tyler told at the liquor store happened in between us
It was a long
after
yeah.
we got it and we got home. So it wasn't fresh.
We needed fresh.
And I think that knocked it down quite a bit. So it was a 7.1.
Yep.
The audience on One Bite gave it a 7.7. I think it would have been closer if it was fresh, honestly. It wasn't bad.
I will say the people in Maryland, just generally speaking.
Yeah.
So if you're in Maryland, I apologize, but we were doing a lot of our eating, like for dinners and things like that, based off of reviews on like Yelp and different things. A lot of 4.8s out of 5s and things like that would go there, and it's like, okay, I don't know.
Yelp
like,
might be rigged.
I feel like it's either rigged
Yeah.
or Maryland might not have some good options, and I don't know how that's a case when there's a McDonald's and a Chick-fil-A down the road. But hey,
On that note, after insulting Maryland, we are going to wrap it up there.
Yep,
If
sorry.
you have made it this far and are not a resident of Maryland, no, I'm just kidding. We're totally fine if you are. Thanks for watching, listening. And yeah, check us out on Twitter at CouchCo Games. Check us out, couchcompany.games on your internet.
yeah, on
All the
interweb.
stuff's there. Top fives,
Yep,
game ratings.
game ratings, OnlyFans.
Not yet.
What else?
Still in
Not yet.
production.
We talked about it.
Steam curators on there.
Yeah,
Everything's on there.
YouTube's.
Podcasts.
Yep.
All right. And we'll be here, same time, same place next week. Pizza time.
It's time.
Check us out. We'll see you. Peace.